Hi, this is Lee Patterson, Chief Pilot and Geotechnical Engineer at Stantec in Dunedin, New Zealand. We've been doing some interesting projects with drone photogrammetry modelling of late. This is somewhat that we have been doing for Auckland Transport for Kiwirail. This looks like a nice aerial photograph. This was actually projected surface, we'll see in a second, that we did through a survey with drone. And we managed to model this to create an environment that we could interrogate. Essentially, we have what is a very, very high resolution aerial image, which is in true scale that we can use to measure. We can also export this as a tool straight into CAD and use CAD tools to design an overlay in terms of this work. We originally priced to do this work with traditional survey, but you can see that it would have required some traffic management so that we weren't affecting the highways. Work for Auckland Transport, it also would have required some potential standover supervision from Auckland Railway personnel, and it might have required traffic slowdowns for the railways. Two very expensive elements of survey. We said that we would like, rather than putting a man with a staff on the ground to pick up salient details, we would rather attempt to do a photogrammetric survey from aerial photography. So that's what we've done here. What we actually have is a full 3D model. Hopefully you'll start to see that. That we can interrogate, take measurements from, and do, a pretty interesting assessment of pedestrian flow modelling or any of the kind of metrics that you're looking to do in terms of where the fences are that we're looking to change. This model is probably accurate down to about the sub 3 centimetre bracket, 4 centimetre bracket, so we were able to take quite accurate measurements for gate design, but as well as that we can see the context of what we're talking about in terms of the site, because contextually we can see not just potentially what we'd pick up with the staff, but we'd also been able to virtually revisit the site and look at access for approaching wheelchair access or other issues in terms of site distances and bits and pieces like that we perhaps might not have been so able to get by just a traditional survey. So not only do we believe that the survey is in this particular instance much more suited, it's got adequate accuracy and much better density of information, but by managing to use photogrammetric survey techniques, we had very little difficulty getting approval to fly, provided we were at a minimum height of 25 metres above the railway tracks. So we didn't have to have railway stand-up for people, and we didn't have to have anything in the way of traffic closures or slowdowns, and also the time on site was significantly reduced from a traditional survey. Although we do have some design requirements to go back and potentially retrace some of these features to turn them into feature lines for a more traditional design. But certainly by swapping traditional survey for photogrammetry in this particular aspect, we've been able to deliver the client a much more, I think, holistic design at a much cheaper than original costed project, and also quite swift, quite quick. Apart from getting the permissions from Auckland Transport to be allowed to get in there with the drone. There's a very real chance that once we recognise that drones are not that unsafe in the correct hands, that they may actually be a much safer solution than some traditional survey processes. Okay.